lion attacks the gazelle, a lot of sex, sexual energy. It's not that, it's more playful. Hello, my name is Bo Green, and welcome to the Sober Confidence Podcast. Now, on this podcast, what we'll be talking about is those difficult situations where you feel like you're newly sober or you're sober curious, and you're waiting to gain that confidence that you feel like alcohol gives you temporarily. Sometimes when we separate from that alcohol, we feel a little gap between the person we want to be and the person we currently are. And sometimes you feel like you're just chasing that person. It's a little more drunk, it's a little more edgy, it's a little more confident, and sometimes we just never reach that. So in this podcast, we will talk about how to get from being maybe not as confident as you are drinking to more confident sober. Welcome to this podcast. Now today we'll be talking about 6 different hacks on how to confidently go out by yourself sober. And this is something that I really struggled with when I first stopped drinking or started my sober journey. I remember going out to a club by myself, and I remember pre-gaming with instant coffee and going out and trying to dance in a normal club. This girl tried to dance on me, and I literally had no idea what to do. I felt uncomfortable, it felt awkward. You know, I was a pretty girl and I was single, but I just felt so uncomfortable that I ended up leaving. And it was from that moment that I realized, okay, like I have a problem here. And it wasn't just the alcohol, it was me relying on the alcohol for social situations. So that's why I wanted to create this podcast for people who are just starting out in their sober journey or interested in starting. And the reason that we picked the topic of the day with the hacks of how to be able to go out by yourself sober is because it used to be one of the biggest fears in my life. You know, I started off drinking when I was about 15 years old, and I did so because I always wanted to be as outgoing as my friends, but I never could get there. I was always the quiet one, the shy one. I try to actually attract people by being more attractive, by having abs or being tan or wearing a cool outfit so that people would come and talk to me because I was shy and I was introverted. But I didn't want to be that way. And then once I started to go outsourced to alcohol, I was introduced to it, I started becoming more outgoing and I became out of my shell. But then I realized, or at least I thought, that I could never be as outgoing and confident as I was drinking as I was sober. So when I would see people the next day after I partied, I feel like I wasn't amounting to that drunker self. Now, if you can relate to this in any way, then this podcast is for you. In this episode of basically how to take those hacks that I took 7 years to learn in about 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. So here we go. Now, I remember when I first started being sober curious, I wanted to figure out how I could make friends, influence people. In fact, that was the first self-help book that I ever read so that I could light up the room sober like I felt like I could drinking. So I did all sorts of different courses. I read books, I read psychology books, I read how to use, basically to talk to people, doing the 80-20 rule. I studied on how to be socially confident. But it wasn't until that I learned on my own what my remix was that it actually set me free. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna teach you 6 hacks that I learned about confidently going out by yourself sober that it took me 7 years to learn. So if you're ready, grab a pen and paper and let's write these things down and get these done, all right? So hack number 1 is to prep yourself with positivity and energy, right? The things that we are looking for when we're drinking, especially when we're going out, is we want to have that energy, we want to have that positivity, we want to be magnetic, right? And sometimes the way we do that is from shots or from mixed drinks or from, when you're binge drinking, to get it done fast with maybe some beer bongs or a luge. And what you're really chasing for is that positivity, that energy. Now, when you don't drink anymore, it doesn't mean you can't beer bong something that's not a beer. It doesn't mean you can't take shots of ginger. But what you really should be looking for, let's say if you're pre-gaming to go out, is to be able to have something that gives you energy. Caffeine, maybe sugar, and maybe this sounds, bad to people. Oh, caffeine's not good for you. Oh, sugar's not good for you. Well, it is so infinitesimally better for you than drinking alcohol, because on the scale of like things that are, cause harm or deaths, alcohol is number 3 on the list, and caffeine and sugar isn't even there. So, given these alternatives, even though some people are going to say, oh, it's not healthy for you, well, it's way healthier than alcohol. So what I found is to pregame with some sort of caffeine, right? Maybe like a Red Bull or maybe some coffee, and make it into like a ritual, right? Like to get excited and amped to being able to go out. Now, when you're not going out by yourself, maybe you can do it around people. But when you're doing it for yourself, like make it a fun ritual and be excited for going out and winning friends and influencing people. Now, the next one kind of goes with the first one, right? Like as you're pre-gaming, as you're drinking that caffeine, which is totally optional. You can do an ice bath, you can splash cold water in your face, you can take a cold shower, like whatever it is that gets your energy amped, or listen to good music, create that environment. If you don't want the caffeine, that's totally okay, but it definitely gives you an edge. So hack number two is to write down different missions that you want to succeed with throughout your night. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean by like, set something, the really small goal, something like, to introduce yourself to 3 people in the night, like that night, right? Or to get 3 people's social media or numbers or, some sort of contact so that you can reach them in the future. Or like, being able to dance for like 2 songs. Make it easy and digestible and achievable in the beginning, and over time they'll get more difficult and difficult. And instead, why this is a hack is because you're focusing more on the mission at hand instead of feeling uncomfortable and be like, why am I here? I don't like this, I'm uncomfortable. You're focusing on the mission, and then you can leave. So it doesn't mean you have to be there till 2, 3 a.m. You go there, do your mission, hang it, chill out for a little bit, and when you want to leave, you go, right? And then hack number three is to warm up. Now, many people, especially guys, when we go out, we have this like thing where we're like, especially if we're single, to be like, all right, if there's a hot chick, I gotta talk to them. I have to go and talk. And you put this pressure on yourself to talk to certain people versus other people, right? And maybe that will work sometimes. But what I've found the best is to be able to warm up, to be able to go around to a room and just comment on something that people are wearing that you like. Hey, wow, I love your shoes. Wow, your hair is so cool. Man, I love your style. That's what's called warming up. So you talk to anybody that you come in contact with that you actually have an authentic compliment or you want to say something to, and then by the time you come around to the people that you might feel a little more scared of talking to, you've already warmed up. You've already built your social proof. Everybody knows you're not a creeper because you're talking to everybody. And that's a hack that I really wish I would have known back, in the day when I put so much pressure on myself to speak to the beautiful woman that I would just knock my whole self out of the game because I was so focused on the one person that seemed unachievable. And hack number 4 is to be able to find your environment. When you're going out, don't just like go to the best place that everybody says is good, right? The best club, the best bar, or whatever. Go to a place that you actually want to go to, that has the good music, that has the cool venue, that isn't solely based off of drinking. One of the best places to go when you're first starting out being sober is definitely not the bar, because what else are you gonna do? There has to be something where you have some sort of activity like dancing or playing volleyball or like something in the area of like being able to have fun with other people around. I've noticed that I love places that has old people, dogs, and children. Why? Because I know that there's going to be a balance of everything. It's not just that nightlife where it's like, the lion attacks the gazelle, a lot of sex, and sexual energy. It's not that. It's more playful. And when you see a kid dance and frolic and have a great time, and when you see a dog just going up and lapping somebody with a big kiss or looking for belly rubs, it reminds you of like this stuff is not as serious as we take it, as we make it. And you can just be relaxed and just have a good time, and you have examples of you all around. And honestly, it just brings joy to my face to see like an older person dancing or holding the hand of their loved one. And also on this tip, on this hack, make sure you find the area in your venue that you feel comfortable, right? Like find the spot where like walk around the whole entire thing and be like, where's my spot? Where do I feel most content? Where I feel most comfortable? I've noticed for me, I love to be around the fan because I get really hot and when I get sweaty, I just want to leave. So if I find a spot, usually like front stage, somewhere by the fan, I feel the most comfortable. All right, now hack number 5 is to bring a journal. Now this might sound weird to a lot of people, especially if you don't journal, but journal is such, the writing in a journal is so key for your growth because I guarantee you the first couple of times you go out, you're going to feel uncomfortable, especially if you're sober by yourself. So having a journal, you don't really, you don't need somebody to talk to. You don't need to be like, hey man, like, or go to the bartender and start venting, or venting to somebody you just met of how uncomfortable it is. You can write in your journal. And what's cool about writing in your journal is that other people who also journal will be attracted to you journaling in a space where most people aren't journaling. And it takes a lot of confidence to be able to whip out a journal and just start writing it in a bar or a club or wherever you're at. And then other people who journal will be attracted to you. Also, people who don't journal will be interested in what you're writing. And over time, you might even say, hey, look, this is exactly what I'm writing. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. I'm on my sober journey. And this is the first couple nights of me being by myself. Bam, you've already attracted a friend without even trying to. All right, so hack number 6, the last hack, is to be able to get people's contact information. Now, how do you do that? How do you get people's contact information? Well, with the other hacks that we had before, you warm up, you start with positivity, you find your place, you journal through discomfort. All these things can already add to you meeting people. We haven't even talked about how you meet people. Now, a great way to be able to meet other people is like, let's just say if you're on the dance floor, let's just say if you are there doing a dance circle, just casually kind of like walk up to there. You don't have to be the world's best dancer. Just kind of go around the outside and amp people up. Get really excited and be like, yeah, hey. And maybe they might pull you into a dance circle, or maybe you dance. It doesn't matter how you dance. When you're in the middle of a dance circle, people will support you. And then with that energy just grows and grows and grows and grows. So when you're around people, when you put yourself around a mass of people who are concentrated and amping each other up, you're gonna start to make friends. And from dancing is a great way to make friends, and also to be able to, like, let's say you connect with somebody, you talk with somebody, you dance with somebody, whatever. A great way to like make it a part of your mission is to be able to like just take a picture with them. Like, hey, listen, I'm collecting. Nice, it's pretty loud out there. Some construction going on. Would you like to take a selfie with me? Yeah, sure. We take a picture and like, hey, what's your contact? I'll send this to you. Right? So it's like an easy, casual way of saying, I think you're interesting. I'm glad that I'm here. I'm here by myself. You can even mention that. Just be like, hey, look, I don't want to go out by myself sober. It's my first time. I just want to prove it to myself that I can do it. Like really be able to be vulnerable, but not, unleash your everything out there. Just make it casual. And then that kind of gives you like a reason to reach out to them. But the best way to be able to get somebody's contact is to be able to relate on something that you like and they like as well, like a mutual interest, right? It sounds so easy, but to be able to kind of like bridge into something either you're interested in or something that you already love. And then you say, hey, I'd like to hear more about your adventures. Oh, I'd like to learn more about, going to Thailand. I really want to go there one day. Would you like to share information, right? Exchange information. Very easy. I feel like when you have that thing in your mind, it's like, I need to get their number. I just feel that you put too much pressure on yourself. But if you say, would you like to exchange information? Like, what's the best way? Then they say, social media, WhatsApp, phone number. Like, it puts the ball on their court instead of all that pressure of like, oh, there's a girl, she's hot, gotta get her number. Because some people might not want to give out their number. They might want to give out their social media because you can find a lot more about somebody based on their social media. So they'll know, like, oh, this guy looks kind of cool. Yeah, let's do some of this. Oh, I'm interested in what he's doing. You know what I mean? So to be able to, the 6th step is basically like the closure, but also like don't put so much pressure on I have to get their contact information. Like if you just kind of flow with things and you just be yourself and you just like amp people up and you just give people authentic compliments, it will happen. I guarantee you. If you're in the right location, the right environment for you, it will happen. And the dancing crazy on the dance floor or being magnetic the first time may not happen. But that's why, you have these 6 hacks in order to make a successful night. Then you do it over and over and over again until it just becomes less and less uncomfortable. And it always might make you feel a little bit of discomfort, but at least when you have these hacks and you have a journal with you, you have like a practice to where you're able to like work through discomfort, then it will get easier and easier for you. And it'll be, instead of being like something that scares you, it will be something that excites you to go out. And you can use that, the warming up, the pregame with caffeine in order to get you amped up to get you there. So those are my 6 hacks on how to go out by yourself sober and have a great time and meet new people. Now, which one was your favorite hack and which one are you the most excited about using this weekend? Write them in the comments below. And if you're interested in following more of my content, I also have an Instagram page. My Instagram page will be linked down below, but it's _BO_green. So great to have you here and I look forward to seeing you on other podcasts.